Hello Samai, how are you? Are you familiar with this rhyme? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. I was taught it as a child when I was being bullied in school, the message being they may call you horrible names, but it can't really do you any lasting harm. Of course, it's not true, is it? It's not true because the things we're called do have a big effect on us emotionally and in our sense of worth, but also because words have enormous power. It's hard for us to comprehend how anyone could have refused asylum to Jewish people fleeing Hitler in the 1930s, fleeing from the ghettos and from the concentration camps, that demonic system which in the end took from this world millions of people. But at the time the numbers of Jewish refugees began to grow, the Daily Mail newspaper ran a whole series of articles and opinion pieces talking about the danger to Britain of unfettered immigration. And one of the ways they spread that argument was to not call them people, but to call them aliens. We must stop these aliens coming here. And in part, they were successful. Lots of children in our schools in Britain learn about the wonderful kinder transport scheme, which saved many children from the gas chambers. But they're not taught so much why it was just children that came and not their parents and grandparents. Well, here we are in 2023 being told that we face an invasion of refugees. And in fact, as I speak, the government is about to take us out of effectively belonging to the United Nations Convention on Refugees, which we founded and drafted. We're told that Britain is full, that the people who are coming are somehow taking advantage, and that we can't cope with this invasion of people. Now, don't get me wrong, these issues are complicated, and you already may disagree with me from what I've said about the politics of it. But I just invite us to pay attention to the language that's being used and the way that invasion is being invoked to make us fearful and to make us want to stop opening our hearts. As a Christian leader, I hear the challenge of the scriptures, which say to me that God is far more interested in our approach to justice, to human relationships, to right and wrong, than he is to our internal life as spiritual people. We may pat ourselves on our back for our moral purity or for our theological or religious activity, but God's not interested. Listen to what he says in Isaiah chapter 58. Is this not the fast that I choose? To loose the bonds of injustice, to undo the thongs of the yoke, to let the oppressed go free and break the yoke? Is it not to share your bread with the hungry and bring the homeless poor into your house? When you see the naked, to cover them, and to not hide yourself from your own kin? Then your light shall break forth like the dawn, and your healing shall spring up quickly. Your vindication shall go before you. The glory of the Lord shall be your rear guard. Then you shall call, and the Lord will answer. You shall cry for help, and he will say, here I am. And what I see in that passage is that as we treat others, so God will treat us. We can't expect a God to save us, to care about us, to forgive us, if our attitude to the world around us is closed, protective, defensive, cruel. If we have no empathy, how can we expect God to have empathy with us? And if we do nothing else, I do appeal to us to challenge this demeaning, objectifying language, this language of hate that treats broken people, many of them fleeing conflict and disaster that we can hardly comprehend in the comfort of our nation, to treat them as less than we are, when to God, like us, they're all worth of attention and love. They're our kin, our family. I'm not in front of the white cliffs of Dover, although I used to live in Kent. I'm in front of Conwy Mountain, Mother Dre. I'm here on the beach, wondering what it would be like if small boats were arriving here today. Would those who come be seen as human beings in need of compassion, or at the very least justice? Or would we want to treat them as aliens? Amen.